Plain and simple, it's just too early in the morning to be up. But hey, it's desert time. So here's a little background to my whole off-road beginnings and how I kind of got into it and everything. So back in high school, freshman year, I made friends with this kid named Garrett. We were in science class together, and it was just one of those friends where you were only really friends in class and not really outside of class. We never saw each other after that class until senior year when we had another class together, and that's when we really became friends. I started driving around the time. I had a truck. He said, hey, why don't you come out to the desert with me and my friends? I went out with them, instantly fell in love with it that weekend, you know, never looked back, gone out with him every time. Oh, it's go time. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Dylan.
Okay, I'm gonna go help him load up the rest of the trailer so we can get out of here.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we made it, but that 3 hours of sleep is really hitting me right now. I'm already exhausted and it's not even 10 o'clock yet. It's really cold out here.
It's very freezing.
49 degrees and windy. We got camp all
Dad,
set
you have
up.
an extra headset?
We're gonna head out /X right now. Fell asleep by the campfire. Now we're going to get Del Taco. Del Taco! Jesus. Del Taco!
Del effing Taco!
Mexico! Del Taco. So here we are in Apple Valley where it is a crisp, windy 39 degrees out and we are just freezing. It's New Year's weekend, everybody's out here camping. So we took the weekend off, came out here. We're gonna do a little build breakdown of the truck. So for suspension, I went with the OEM replacement King 2.5 remote reservoir shocks and Camberg's kinetic upper control arms. For wheels and tires, I went with a 16-inch double standard method wheel wrapped in 33-inch BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tires. For rear suspension, I went with an OEM replacement remote reservoir shock. I also replaced the rear leaf spring pack with the Deaver J66 10-ply. And for an exhaust, the only one I thought sounded good on a Tacoma was a Black Widow's Widowmaker. So when I first took the truck out with everything on, I was thoroughly surprised with how it performed. The front suspension is a really big upgrade from the stock suspension. It handles a lot different just for being an OEM replacement. The back alone can't really keep up with the front, and that's why I think I might later down the road chop the stock mount and put a replacement hoop in to fit a bigger shock in. The replacement of the stock leaf pack with the Deaver J66 adds more durability to the leaf springs themselves, and it also lifts the back a little bit to get more clearance. On my old truck I had a 31-inch tire, and I can see a big difference in just those 2 inches, both with it protects the wheel itself and just the height of it getting over bumps and rocks. The Black Widow exhaust, I mean any aftermarket exhaust will increase the horsepower even though it's not by a lot, and it sounds amazing. Now before this truck I had a 2015 TRD Pro Tacoma, and seeing the difference between the two, I'd take this over that any day. The price difference you're paying, it's going to be way more beneficial to put the money into aftermarket suspension of your choosing than what Toyota gives you. Leaving the spot where we did the build breakdown, we tried crawling our way out because it was a really sketchy spot to begin with, but we ended up high centering on the axle and getting stuck for a cool minute because one of the tires was off the ground and it wouldn't gain traction. So going back to the Deaver leaf springs, it's good to get that little extra lift, because if we weren't lifted as much as we were, that would have been way worse.
Yeah, I saw that falling, and then I looked aside and see 2 people, so I slammed on the brake. Yeah, I didn't know you were stopping.
Yeah, I didn't know the road was right here.
You wanna let me get this bike off my bike? Okay. Look at how deep my front tire went into that sand.
Made it to the track. We got the shifter carts out there right now. Where we at, though?
Range Motor Circuit in Apple Valley, California, where they do drifting, kart racing, supermoto. That's where the Hoonigans come to drift.
That's true.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Woo!
God, it's going on my car.
got back from the desert and we are exhausted and covered in dirt. So now all we have to do is just go clean everything and then pack it all back away. The only real casualty this trip was a blown fork seal, and it was leaking and it splattered the whole side of the bike. Surprisingly enough, I didn't notice till like maybe a day later. Other than that, everything ran fine. It was a great trip. Spent 2 nights out there, rode some new trails. I got to drive the truck out there. I haven't really done that in about a year since I bought the bike, so it was fun to try out, but it reminded me why I bought the bike in the first place. Since this is my daily, I don't want to beat it up and destroy it when I could be doing that to a bike and save up money and buy something else to beat up like a Baja Bug. Garrett's had a blown fork seal on his bike probably since a trip or 2 ago. I think me blowing mine is finally going to motivate him to go get his fix.
Oh, hello.
You got a little sun right there.
Look how dirty she is.
About to get a nice transformation right now. Ooh, she's all nice and clean. Look at that sparkle. I got home, dried everything off, and I'm slowly losing steam when it comes to unpacking. I'm too tired to be unloading all this dirty stuff. So when my axle high centered on the rock, this is the only damage that it took, and that's not bad at all. Then trying to get out of being stuck on my axle, I ended up getting stuck right here on the frame. That's not bad either. All in all, it was a good trip. Nothing broke too severely. I got unstuck. I had a blast. Finally got everything cleaned up. Interior's all wiped down. Had to spray because it smelled like campfire inside. Got the spare tire back in. Got all my gear and camping stuff back in the garage. All that's left is to clean up myself and get some sleep.